And so every thing I tried, every entrepreneurial effort I tried was a failure.
Hey, have you ever had that voice in your head that tells you you're incompetent or small? Ashley's was that she was lazy. You know, I've had my own voices. I'm sure we all have that voice in our head. And for some of us, it keeps us from doing what we want to do in life, and including building a business. But Ashley Savage built Hollowberry Manor in spite of that voice and silenced it somehow. I am Toby Lyles.
And I'm Maverick Glass.
My esteemed son, and this is the Voices on the Wind podcast.
Around here, pizza, we love pizza. I mean, I love pizza. We all love pizza. Pizza's amazing. And we built a wood fire oven, which then it's like a bunch of bricks. And anyway, it's fun. It's a fun, just fireplace cooking it.
If you know pizza, it is
the
way to get a really good pizza.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all that smoke and everything. And, but we couldn't really find a pizza pill, and we looked online. It was like, nothing really that great, but we wanted to find something local. Mm-hmm. And so we went to Prairie Pantry and then she helped us find it, and it was really really quality. We still can use it. It's still really good, and it was also at a really good price. So, and really all of the stuff in there is like that. So if you haven't checked it out, you definitely should check it out. Prairie Pantry, and then here in Cheyenne. And if you're not from here, she still has a great online store, CheyennePrairiePantry.com. That's where you can find that. It's really great.
It is really great. And here's the interview with Ashley Savage of Hollowberry Manor. Because you got to look at this entire house, and just, especially with ADD, I would just be like, and I need to do this, and I need to do that, and I'd be in the middle scrubbing this, and then
squirrels everywhere.
Yeah.
My sister and my dad, especially when they came, that really helped me focus, or even unfocus. You know, my sister would be like, "I'm wallpapering this room. You go do whatever you want." I'm like, "Sweet." So I would just flit around the house and cross off 100 little things, knowing that this room will also get wallpapered.
Yeah.
So that was super helpful. My sister's incredible. But yeah, every time I drove up here, it was with my truck and my trailer filled with furniture that I had been gathering from Facebook Marketplace, and that I was sending my husband, husband, I go to Broomfield and pick up this and this at these addresses at this time. And so they were super supportive that way, because this was a big house to fill. It was completely empty.
Wow.
And so, yeah. So a lot of work there, and just bringing up tools, so many trailer loads of supplies, and lots of Amazon orders.
Okay.
Picking out textiles and curtains and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of a lot, but in a good way. I think my ADHD has thrived on this work, which is interesting because, at home, I would struggle with focus because there was, the home to take care of, and the kids and school things and school emails, and then my job, and then, what are we having for dinner, and, the laundry. But here, I don't have to think about any of that. I just think about the house. And so my ADHD is way better here because there's nothing else to focus on. It's just, what do I need to accomplish right now to move forward? And
So it's 1,000 things on the house, but it's all the house.
Exactly. And it is, it's been an incredible transition for me to know that my brain can work the way it's supposed to when the conditions are right.
Tell me more, yeah.
I wasn't even diagnosed until 3 years ago, 41. And it was an incredible discovery because I'm like, this explains everything about my entire life. Everything that I thought was wrong about me or broken or things I was frustrated. Why can I not do this thing? Why can I not finish this project that I want to finish? I had just a lifetime of frustration. And when I got this diagnosis, I'm I was thrilled because it explained everything about me. And I could finally do research to understand my own brain. And I quickly realized, okay, a diagnosis, while awesome, doesn't fix everything. I did get medicated. And that changed my world, I will tell you. But when I'm here at the house, I don't need to take my medication. And it's weird, but in a positive, incredible way.
Why did you first choose to, at 41, you said, go get checked out? Like, what brought that on?
I was with my friend Stephanie. I don't know what we were doing, out to lunch maybe. And I was expressing to her, for the millionth time, I'm sure, I had a frustrating moment the day before. I had wanted to go do some yard work. And I stood in the middle of my house for 10 minutes because I couldn't figure out if it would be more efficient to go out the front door or the back door. I wanted to start in the front yard and set my phone and my water down. But I had to go to the backyard to get my gardening shoes and my gloves.
So which one?
Which way do you go? And I spent 10 minutes, and I would literally take 2 steps this way, 2 steps that way, 2 steps this way, 2 steps that way. And I was stuck in this loop. My brain was stuck in this loop. And I eventually was like, Ashley, what do you do? Stop being an idiot. Just do something. And I picked a direction, whether it was right or wrong. I've just picked something.
Yeah.
And I got on with my day. And that was something that occurred regularly. I'd get stuck in a loop. And why? Why? It's so dumb.
And nobody else around you, I'm assuming, is doing
Right.
this.
There wasn't anyone for me to bounce off of like, hey, would you carry my water and my phone to the front yard so that I can go to the backyard?
Well, and I'm guessing nobody else is like, you don't ever catch, maybe, and I don't know, but people, your friends or family who are just standing in the kitchen not knowing which way to go.
Yeah.
I'm saying, did you feel alone?
Very much. Very much. It was just such a, on one hand, so silly and dumb, but on the other hand, debilitating.
Yeah.
You know, this is something so inconsequential, and yet I'm stuck. Anyway, so the next day I was expressing to Stephanie my frustration over this very moment, and she's like, sorry, I'm going to cry. She says, it's time for me to tell you. I've known this for years, but it hasn't been the time to tell you. You have ADHD. And I was like, what? You know, ADHD was little boys who couldn't sit still in their seats. You know, ADHD was something else. But I respected what she said because she herself had ADHD kids. You know, she knew what she was talking about. She wasn't uneducated. And I said, okay, tell me why. And she gave me some instances and some examples of why she felt that way and why she believed that way and why this was the right moment. You know, she'd known all this time and hadn't said anything because she knew it wasn't right for me. So I went home immediately after our outing and I researched ADHD in adult women. And oh my gosh, it opened my world. Everything I read was me to a T. And I joined some Facebook groups and started reading stories of other women, same boat as me, you know, being diagnosed after age 35. And there's, you know, reasons for that. You know, ADHD wasn't diagnosed in little girls in the 80s because it didn't present the same as boys.
Yeah. It didn't exist, basically.
It was very unacknowledged and unrecognized. And so we've got all these women in my generation who are discovering this about themselves.
Wow.
It's changing their lives. And so it looks like an epidemic, but really it's just a massive discovery, social discovery. And so reading the stories of these other women who their lives are also being changed and how they're learning to, for lack of a better word, cope with life. You know, the world isn't really designed for us. And so we figure out ways to cope. And I'd been doing that my whole life.
Right.
I just didn't understand what I was doing. And so here I am armed with information and a little bit of medication on the side. And, I can suddenly move mountains without being stuck in a loop.
It's beautiful.
Stuck in a loop.
As a mother, you said you're home raising kids for 16, I don't know, how many years? 18?
Well, I was stay-at-home mom for like 18. My oldest is 21.
Okay.
And my baby's 10.
Oh, wow. So, so you're home for that amount of time. This does lead to business. And, and you're feeling the effects of ADHD, which if you have something cognitively, it can feel very alone. And then I'm only saying it because in our family, and personally, I've struggled with this in different areas. But I just, I feel alone. It's my own little problem, and nobody else has that. But compounded by, I don't know, being in the workplace can sometimes give accolades where we don't get those at home or in the same way. It's just, you do a great spreadsheet or whatever make a nice widget. People are like, yeah, good job. And then it just feels like, oh, I can show up in the world. And I know how I'm asking, how did that feel as a mother with ADHD? And then I want to move into that transition of moving, now you're you're doing business, you're an entrepreneur. I don't know. I just wonder, as I keep on going with this question, because it can hold I believe it holds a lot of people back, because especially women, but they feel like I don't have anything to give, or I only have this much to give when they have that much to give.
Yes.
How did you work through that? Or was it?
Many stages. I think I'm still going through stages, trying to, we all evolve as people, right? And so during my stay-at-home years, being a mom and a homemaker and wife wasn't quite enough. I'm not going to sit here and say I was unhappy with my stay-at-home years, but I did feel unfulfilled. I was a little bit unsatisfied. I had all these ideas, running through my head because, again, my brain would never shut up. And I couldn't run with them. Oh, I have this business idea, and I would start it. I would lay the foundation and start the work, and then I would have to stop after a few months because I couldn't do it and have little kids.
Oh, yeah.
Our household.
Time reasons, or was it like mentally too hard to?
It was time.
So much scattered.
It was time, and like the parts where I needed to leave the home were difficult. Our home was set up very traditionally. I was a stay-at-home mom. My husband was the breadwinner. And at home, our roles were very traditional too. He would, mow the lawn, and I would do the laundry. So, so the idea of him taking a Saturday to watch the kids, or an evening to be in charge of the kids while I ran my business, was not in the cards.
Yeah.
If I was going to make something work, I had to do it on my own. I had to find the time. I had to find the energy. I had to find the ambition.
Okay.
And ADHD is one of those things where I can do the planning, but then I'll struggle with the execution. Or if someone else does the planning, I can slay the execution. But to do the planning and the execution, I could never figure that out. And so every thing I tried, and every entrepreneurial effort I tried, was a failure.
How did that feel? Did you have we all have these words we call ourselves.
Yeah.
What was your
Yeah,
language
like
to yourself?
lazy was a big one. Like, why can't you just do it? You have the list of things. You know exactly what you need to do. So just do it. And I couldn't figure why I couldn't just do it. You know, I tried lots of MLMs because those are supposed to be easy for the moms. I had an Etsy store where I'd craft things and sell. I you know, did all kinds of, you know, what can I do from home and still feel fulfilled?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until about 2016 I was finally able to find some success because my kids were old enough to babysit themselves. I picked up a camera and I got some lessons from a friend and I became a photographer.
Wow. Okay.
Self-taught with the exception of some help from a friend and you know, some online courses. But I became a photographer, family photographer. And my kids could watch themselves while I went out on shoots. I didn't have to wait for my husband to get home and hope that he came home on time in order for me to go out and finally be successful. And so that was my first taste of success. And I did that for several years. And it was so empowering to, you know, it was still small scale. I was still stay-at-home mom. I couldn't turn this into a full-time shebang. But it was empowering.
Yeah, how did that feel? Besides, I mean, empowering is a beautiful word.
Yeah.
But to be able to plan and then execute.
Eventually execute.
Yeah.
Some of culling, editing, that was really hard for me. I loved the shooting.
But then afterwards, there's all that work.
Yes. I had to figure out, you know, my own coping mechanisms to make it work because, you know, I'd made a commitment to these clients. And so I couldn't quit. I couldn't.
Oh, is the external pressure maybe?
The external pressure was a big one.
Okay.
You know, I took the pictures. I had to deliver the pictures. And that was hard. I will tell you, there were some nights where I'm like, I don't know if I can do this because my brain would just go over
Were
here.
you like, the laundry needs to be done. Kids need to get to school or whatever, soccer practice tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be sitting at my computer, culling and editing, and my brain would just keep working.
Or was it like,
and so I would have to
idea? Like, what's distracting?
All of it. Business idea. Oh, here's a great idea for a Facebook post. And I need to make sure to buy the thing for this recipe. And everything.
Okay.
Everything.
How did you deal with that?
You have to keep a notepad right next to you and write things down so that they shut up. And sometimes I would just be like, it's enough. I have to step away from my computer and do this thing that is really bothering me.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't say OCD level stuff, but, you know, I couldn't focus on the work until I could focus on the work. The other stuff had to get out of the way. And so it's just an obstacle. I can't say no to something that's nagging my brain. So some people's galleries took a little longer to deliver than others. But because I enjoyed the shooting so much and that was so easy that, you know, it was easy to have clients come back because they enjoyed the shooting experience.
I'm sure they fell in love with you immediately. And
yeah, I'm
like,
really...
yes, we're coming back.
I will say one of my superpowers was getting the husbands to smile and and getting the cranky kid to cooperate. And that's a skill. And,
yes,
and that was one of my superpowers. So I was winning for sure.
I'm still impressed with how, you know, it's not easy to learn that there's something wrong with you, I guess. And it can be like, you know, a mental condition, something like that. It's not easy for a lot of people. And the way that she just instead of as being like, oh no, I guess I'm just like, this is terrible and now I feel like a loser, she's like, okay, now I know, now I can see the things that are holding me back. Now I can use those to help me get forward. And that was crazy. I just think that was a really cool way of seeing a problem, but instead turning it into almost almost a solution, almost to get her farther than maybe most people. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. And she never, ever, ever gave up.
No.
And of course, I love that finding her own business was the solution for her mental health. And of course, we can't say that with everything all across the board, but pursuing our passions and our creativity is always a benefit.
Yeah.
So let us all do that. And until then, my friends, happy sailing.